My little boy Cruz was diagnosed with Fragile X syndrome just before his second birthday. Now, after the previous video that I posted explaining what Fragile X was, I got a few messages asking if I could also explain the signs and symptoms. As I explained in my previous video, Fragile X syndrome is a genetic condition that is caused by a mutation within the DNA structure and therefore could only be diagnosed through a DNA sample, whereas autism is based and diagnosed on an individual's behaviour. Fragile X syndrome is a condition that causes severe global developmental delay. It impacts on the cognitive abilities, mental health, behaviours, and even the physical features. For example, an individual with Fragile X syndrome may struggle with their cognitive ability. You may find that they have learning disabilities, a low IQ, delayed developmental milestones, delayed communication, both verbal and non-verbal, and speech and language. Not only that, it can impact on an individual's mental health. It can mean that they experience levels of anxiety, depression, and even OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. In terms of behavioural concerns, this is where both autism and Fragile X can be seen as having very, very close similarities. For example, an individual with Fragile X may have ADHD. They may also have social anxiety. You may find that they are hand flapping, jumping around, biting their hands, as well as just stimming in general. You may find that they have poor eye contact, as well as hypersensitivity disorder. For example, be extremely sensitive when it comes to being in large crowds, have a sensitivity to touch, have a sensitivity to sounds, have a sensitivity to different foods as well as textures, and they may also struggle with social cues. One of the things that make Fragile X syndrome more distinct in comparison to other conditions are physical features. So for example, have a long, narrow face, have a large forehead, can you tell I'm the carrier? Have a large, more prominent jaw, have large ears, sometimes be cross-eyed, be extremely flexible, even double-jointed, as well as have flat feet. They also tend to have a high arched palate, so in the roof of your mouth it dips up really quite high, which can often cause difficulties when it comes to eating and drinking. And another thing is having heptonia, so really low muscle tone. This can cause a delay in the very early stages of childhood. For example, a child being unable to sit up unaided until much later on, being unable to stand alone until much later on, being unable to walk and take those first steps until much later on, which also causes problems in terms of balance as well. If you're watching this video and you think, you know what, that's my child, please do speak to your healthcare professional, whether that be your health visitor or your GP. They can then start the process of doing the referrals to initiate any testing. And if anyone has any other questions, please do just get in touch. I will try my hardest to answer them as best as I possibly can. I hope this helps. Yeah, thanks for watching.